Hey everyone, this is Hurls. It's another time, another show to do the HeelCast review of the Impact one night only / Twitch shows. Tonight we're going to be reviewing Clash at the Blue Grass. This one was in pairing with OVW. Pretty fun event overall, I thought. But this was actually the last one night only they've done, because they kind of rebranded them as the Impact Plus exclusive events. I'll still be covering those as well, because I have the Impact Plus, so I might as well watch them, and they're usually pretty fun. So anyways, this one, once again, was Clash in the Bluegrass. The event was on March 2nd. It didn't air until March 9th. It was in Louisville, Kentucky, and it was in the Davis Arena. The Davis Arena is pretty famous. It's where they've had all the classic OVW matches. And it's a pretty cool arena. There's a lot of good production to be had in it. Looks a lot better than most of your standard arenas that they go for these Twitch and one night only shows, because this is like made for a wrestling show. The production's already in there, so it really doesn't look too far off from your standard impacts. So I think that's what kind of made this one kind of pop out right away. So anyways, the first match, we had a guy named Dimes. He wrestled Sin Body. You may remember Sin Body. He was in the New Church. So he was in early TNA. He was also known as Kazarni in WWE. He was also known as Sin in TNA, Original Sin. So yeah, we're kind of familiar with him at this point. He's a little older in his wrestling career, but still, he's got a pretty interesting gimmick. He's still playing it. Dimes, who's a little high flyer, kind of not pretty small guy, but he was able to beat Sin Body here. It was okay. It was an okay match. I think it was just cool to see Sin Body, really. That's kind of what this match was. It wasn't terrible or anything, but, it just kind of was there. Colton Cage, the second match was Colton Cage versus, he defeated Brandon Espinoza. Nothing really popped out in this match. It was pretty quick, so I'm not really going to comment too much on it, but it was just kind of two guys you don't really know. But at least in OVW, they make an attempt to have characters, so I guess that does help. Third match was a Fatal 4-Way match. It was Zoe. This guy was interesting. He had like a money gimmick. There was a guy called Cash Flow. He also had a money gimmick, but he really had a money gimmick. So both guys were, I wouldn't say they're the best physically fit wrestlers you're ever going to see, but I guess, they've been around for a while, according to the OVW broadcaster. Third guy in the match was Jay Bradley. You may remember him as Aiden O'Shea. He was also Jay Bradley in Impact for a while. So he was in TNA a couple times, and he was kind of one of Billy Corgan's boys. He's a guy that's even been on the HeelCast before. So, Jay Bradley, we know who he is, and Moose was the fourth participant in the match. But the winner of the match, surprisingly, was Zoe. So, Cash Flow took the pin. It was a pretty decent four-way. It's always interesting to see guys, that you've watched for a while get in the ring with, guys that are kind of in the current crop of Impact. So cool to see Moose and Jay Bradley lock horns, as they've never really faced each other in Impact. So it was a decent match. I'm not going to say it was anything great, but it was decent. The next match, and this was the start of the best of 3 series. It was Madison Rayne versus Callie Young. And this was a pretty good match. Madison Rayne ended up winning. I'm a big fan of Callie Young. I think she definitely deserves a spot on the Impact roster. I think she's earned it. I think she can play to the crowd pretty well. I think her mic skills aren't the greatest, but they're not bad either. So Madison Rayne defeats Callie Young, and they would have 2 more matches on the next upcoming Twitch and One Night Only events. So Madison Rayne gets the win. The next match is an 8-man tag, and they were really kind of hyping this one up for a while. It was OVE versus OVW. Now, the interesting thing on OVW TV, OVE actually kind of interfered and took out some of the OVW guys. So there was actually some feuds kind of going into this beforehand. So there was actually a little bit of story. OVE was represented by Dave Christ, Jay Christ, Madman Fulton. Okay, that makes sense, right? You got 3 out of the 4 OVE members. And then a surprising Rohit Raju was in this match for who knows why. I don't really know. They probably just needed someone because Sammy Callahan was busy. Team OVW was Dustin Jackson, Melvin Maximus, Sam Thompson, and Shiloh Johnsy. I think that's how you pronounce it. This match was really good, actually. I actually enjoyed it a lot. The OVW guys, they weren't bad. They had a gimmick. A lot of them weren't just plain guys. Melvin Maximus, he had a pretty interesting character. The match went 15 minutes and 56 seconds long, but it ended in a no contest. But still, I thought it was pretty well done. So the sixth match was Brian Cage versus Justin Smooth. Brian Cage ended up getting the victory. Not really much to talk about with Justin Smooth. He was all right, nothing too great or anything. Then we had an Impact World Title match. It was Johnny Impact versus Adam Revolver versus Eddie Edwards. I thought this match was really interesting because Johnny Impact was back in the OVW arena. It was his first time in a while, so he got a pretty big pop. They were chanting welcome back. I think the OVW fan base is pretty darn loyal, and a lot of the people who have been going there to the Davis Arena have probably been going there for a really long time. So standing ovation for Johnny Impact. This match was really good. Adam Revolver didn't really impress me too much. He came out there with Shannon the Dude. Don't really know who that is, but Adam Revolver was, but Eddie Edwards having him in this match also made it pretty exciting. So I thought this match was pretty good. So it was for the world title. Johnny Impact retained at that point. The next match was a triple threat match for the OVW Southern Tag Team Championship. It included Chance Destiny and Nigel Winters. They were known as The Void. They were taking on the King's Ransom, which was Leonis Khan and Maximus Khan. These guys were really good look. They looked like they were twins, but they were a little green, I thought. Great characters, great look, but a little green in the ring. They didn't move too quick. They were kind of stiff out there, but you know what? I think their look and their characters may have got them over, at least. They also took on the War Kings. We've seen Crimson and Jack Stain quite a few times on these Impact Twitch events and One Night Only, so it was good to see the War Kings there. The War Kings ended up winning, so they actually defended, or they retained the titles. Now this match was a little differently. The War Kings had the championships advantage where they didn't have to come out until like 10 minutes later. So that kind of made this match, kind of stick out. I like Crimson. Always been a fan of him. I think he kind of got a raw deal at times in Impact. I'm surprised nobody else has really picked him up, but I don't know. I think he's a solid worker, and I kind of hope Impact would give the War Kings another look, but it is what it is. And for the main event, we had a singles match for the OVW Championship title. It was Tony Gunn versus Sammy Callahan. Now, Tony Gunn's a pretty good wrestler. Good look, good mic skills. There was even a point where he was joining the Impact roster at some point. So I don't know if they're going to bring him up or not. I think it was part of the, the partnership that we later found out between OVW and Impact Wrestling. So Tony Gunn was able to beat Sammy Callahan. This match was 28 minutes long. Really solid match. The cool thing about this match was Team OVW came out in Tony Gunn's corner and OVE came out in Sammy Callahan's corner. Very good match. Very good main event. Solid. That's really all I could say about it. To end this, to give this whole event a final score, I say it was 8 out of 10. I think the production was really well done. I'm glad to see it because you don't always expect the best on these Impact One Night Onlys and Impact Twitch events, but this was really good. 8 out of 10. Enjoyed it. Found myself thoroughly entertained. It was a really good. It was a really good event for a one night only, and yeah, I give it definitely 2 thumbs up there. And it led to the partnership, like I mentioned earlier, between OVW and Impact Wrestling. OVW is going to be serving as the, I guess you could say, the training facility, the proving ground, so to speak, for Impact Wrestling. They have the partnership, so hopefully we'll see more Impact wrestlers go down there and kind of do some more events with OVW. They're going to be, we didn't see Al Snow. I think that was kind of strange. I thought we'd see Al Snow at least once, but we didn't see Al Snow. Maybe he felt like he didn't need to do anything for that. So, good event, good Twitch event. I can't wait to see what they do with OVW again, because I think this one was definitely a success. It's kind of like when they do it with Destiny Wrestling. I think they do a good job there as well. So, 8 out of 10. The next event I will be reviewing will be Critical Transformation, which was the April Twitch event. There is no April One Night Only. Critical Transformation, I can tell you right now, I was not the biggest fan of it, and there was a lot of gripes I had with it, but we'll talk about that in the next review. And we also had Rebellion in April, which was a pay-per-view. So there was no One Night Only, and the One Night Only ceased to exist after April because they became the Impact Plus exclusives. So we'll start calling them that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this review of Clash in the Bluegrass. I'm Hurls, and I will see you later.